The summons arrived during my morning shift, sealed with the crimson star, the personal mark of Empress Xylara herself. I stared at the holographic scroll hovering above my workstation in the maintenance bay of Starlight Station, my hands still grease-stained from repairing a failing coolant line. Around me, the usual chaos of the repair hub continued. Mechanics shouting about parts shortages, the hiss of welding torches, the clang of metal on metal. But all I could see was that impossible symbol burning in the air. Report to the Star Palace immediately. Your presence is required by order of Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Xylara, Sovereign of the Celestial Throne, Guardian of 7 systems. My supervisor, a gruff Valkyrian with 4 arms and 0 patience, peered over my shoulder. What you do, Chen? Accidentally vent someone important into space. Nothing, I managed, my mouth dry as desert sand. It's probably a mistake. But I knew it wasn't a mistake. Deep in my gut, where fear lived alongside hope, I knew exactly why the Empress wanted to see me. She'd found out about Seraphine. 3 hours later, I stood in the grand receiving hall of the Star Palace, wearing the only formal suit I owned. A cheap synthetic thing that probably violated a dozen court protocols just by existing. Around me, the palace rose in impossible crystalline spires, its walls made of some transparent material that showed the stars wheeling beyond. It was beautiful and terrifying, a monument to power that made me feel smaller than an atom. Guards in ceremonial armor lined the approach to the throne. Not human guards, but Draknari warriors, each 1.8 feet tall with scaled skin that shimmered like oil on water. They held weapons that could probably disintegrate me before I finished screaming. At the end of a walkway that seemed to stretch for miles, the Empress sat on her throne of living crystal. Empress Xylara was Erythian like her daughter, but where Seraphine was warm and vibrant, the Empress radiated cold authority. Her skin held the same opalescent quality that shifted through blues and violets, but her coloring ran deeper, darker, ancient as the space between stars. Her eyes were pure silver without pupils, and her elaborate headdress of floating crystal shards moved in patterns that hurt to look at directly. She was the most powerful being in 7 star systems, and I was a maintenance mechanic who'd been stupid enough to fall in love with her daughter. Declan Chen. Her voice resonated in the chamber, in my bones, everywhere at once. You may approach. My legs moved on autopilot, carrying me down that endless walkway while my heart tried to hammer through my ribs. I'd practiced bowing. Seraphine had shown me the proper form, laughing at my clumsy attempts. But now my mind went blank. I dropped to one knee and hoped it was sufficient. Your Majesty, I managed. Rise. I stood, forcing myself to meet those silver eyes. It took everything I had. The Empress raised one hand, and the air beside her throne shimmered. A holographic display materialized, and my stomach dropped through the floor. The footage showed Seraphine and me 2 weeks ago in the abandoned observation deck on the station's south side where we always met. Our secret place, or so we'd thought. In the recording, she was laughing at something I'd said, her skin glowing soft lavender the way it did when she was happy. I watched myself brush a strand of her silver hair behind her ear, the gesture so familiar it made my chest ache. Then I watched us kiss. The hologram froze on that moment, her hands cupping my face, my arms around her waist, 2 people from different worlds stealing a moment of happiness in the shadows. The silence in the throne room was absolute. 6 months, the Empress said quietly. For 6 months you have been meeting my daughter in secret. Do you deny it? No, Your Majesty. There was no point in lying. I don't deny it. Do you understand what you have done? A human, a maintenance worker. She didn't say it with contempt exactly, but the words still cut. My daughter is the crown princess of the Erythian Empire. She is promised to the High Prince of Draken IV in a marriage alliance that will secure peace across 4-star systems. I know, and I did know. Seraphine had told me from the beginning that we had no future. That what we had was borrowed time, stolen moments, a beautiful impossibility. We'd agreed it was enough just to have this, just to be together when we could. We'd both been lying to ourselves. You could be executed for this. The Empress stood, descending from her throne with fluid grace. She moved like water, like light, impossibly elegant. Touching a member of the royal family without permission, potentially compromising critical political negotiations. There are a dozen charges I could level against you, any one of which carries a death sentence. Then why haven't you? The question came out before I could stop it. Something flickered in those silver eyes. Because my daughter loves you. The words hung in the crystalline air between us. I have seen Seraphine endure diplomatic functions and political maneuvering since she was old enough to understand what duty meant. I have watched her smile through negotiations for her own marriage to a man she's never met. I have seen her perfect, poised, performing the role expected of her. The Empress stopped a few feet away, studying me with unsettling intensity. But I have never seen her glow the way she does in these recordings. I have never heard her laugh like that. I didn't know what to say to that. Tell me, Declan Chen, do you love my daughter? Yes, the answer came without hesitation. More than anything. Even though it's impossible, even though you come from different worlds, different species. Even though she is destined for a political marriage that will shape the future of empires. Yes, my voice cracked. I know it's selfish. I know I'm nothing compared to what she is, what she could have, but yes, I love her. The Empress studied me for a long moment. Then she turned away, moving to one of the transparent walls where stars wheeled in the darkness beyond. 3 days ago, my intelligence network intercepted a communication from the Obsidian Syndicate. They're planning to assassinate Seraphine before the wedding can take place. My blood turned to ice. What? The Syndicate opposes the alliance with Draken IV. They believe the marriage will consolidate too much power, threaten their operations in the outer systems. They've placed agents within the palace, within my daughter's own guard. She turned back to face me. Someone close to her will strike soon. I don't know who, I don't know when. You have to protect her. Cancel the wedding. Lock down the palace. If I do that, the alliance fails. Draken IV will see it as an insult or weakness. The war we've been trying to prevent will happen anyway. The Empress's expression hardened. And if I show fear, if I reveal that assassins have infiltrated my own palace, I show vulnerability to every enemy across 7 systems. Then what? You, she pointed at me. You are unknown, a maintenance worker beneath the notice of court politics and syndicate surveillance. More importantly, you love my daughter genuinely, without political agenda. That makes you one of the few people I can trust absolutely. The pieces clicked together. You want me to protect her. I want you to do more than that. The Empress gestured, and a new hologram appeared, this one showing a complex star chart with roots highlighted in red. The wedding is scheduled to take place in 10 days on the neutral station of Concordia Prime. Between now and then, Seraphine must travel through 3 different systems for ceremonial appearances and treaty signings. Each location is a potential ambush point. I'm not a soldier. I'm not trained. You're resourceful. You've survived in maintenance for 5 years, which means you understand systems, security protocols, how things work. She zoomed the display in on specific locations. You'll accompany Seraphine's entourage as a technical consultant. The official story is that you're inspecting station infrastructure before the royal visit. In reality, you'll be watching for threats, using your knowledge of how these facilities operate to identify vulnerabilities before the assassins can exploit them. And if I fail, if something happens to her, then you'll die beside her and I'll have that small comfort. The Empress's voice softened slightly. But I don't believe you'll fail. Because you have something my highly trained guards don't have. You'll be protecting the woman you love, not just a political symbol. I looked at the hologram, at the complex route through dangerous space, at the dozen points where everything could go wrong. What happens after, if I succeed, if we make it to the wedding? Then she marries the High Prince as planned, and you return to your life on Starlight Station. The Empress met my eyes steadily. This is not a fairy tale, Declan Chen. I am not offering you my daughter's hand or a place in the royal family. I am offering you a chance to keep her alive, and in exchange, I won't have you executed for the relationship you've already had. The cruelty of it was breathtaking. Protect the woman I loved so she could marry someone else. Stay close to her for 10 days, knowing each moment brought us closer to goodbye. There's another possibility, the Empress said quietly. According to Erithian prophecy, the true heir is revealed not by bloodline alone, but by the resonance, a spiritual connection between souls that transcends political arrangement. It's ancient superstition, mostly forgotten. She paused. But if such a connection were to manifest during the journey, if Seraphine were to demonstrate resonance with someone other than her intended husband, the wedding could be challenged on religious grounds. Hope flared in my chest before I could stop it. You're saying, I'm saying nothing. Her voice turned hard again. I'm telling you about a prophecy. What happens is up to fate, the gods, and whether your love is as real as you claim. Now choose, human, accept this mission and possibly save both my daughter's life and your relationship, or refuse and face execution for unauthorized contact with royalty. Some choice. I accept. 6 hours later, I stood in a private chamber in the residential wing of the palace, still trying to process everything that had happened. I'd been given new clothes, actual quality fabric that probably cost more than a year of my salary, and a data pad containing detailed information about the journey ahead. The door opened, and my breath caught. Seraphine stood in the doorway, and even after 6 months of stolen meetings, she still made my heart stutter. Her skin shimmered with agitation, shifting rapidly through shades of blue and violet. Her silver hair floated around her shoulders as if underwater, and her eyes, lavender with flecks of gold, fixed on me with desperate intensity. Declan! She crossed the room in 3 strides and grabbed my hands. My mother told me everything, the assassination plot, the mission, how she found out about us. Her voice broke slightly. I'm so sorry. I never wanted you dragged into this. Hey. I pulled her close and she collapsed against me, her head fitting perfectly under my chin the way it always did. I'm not sorry. Well, maybe about the assassination part, but not about this, never about this. She could have killed you. Seraphine's hands fisted in my shirt. She still could, and now she's sending you into danger because of me. She's sending me to protect you. There's a difference. I tilted her face up to meet my eyes. I love you, Seraphine. If this is the only way I get to be with you, even for 10 days, I'll take it. And then what? Tears, opalescent and glowing, slid down her cheeks. Then I marry Kairos of Draken IV and you go back to the station and we pretend this never happened. Your mother mentioned something about a prophecy, resonance between souls. The resonance is a myth, but she said it without conviction. Something ancient Erythians believed before we became an empire. The idea that true compatibility creates a visible energy field, that souls meant to be together literally glow in each other's presence. Have you ever seen it? The resonance? No, because it doesn't exist. It's wishful thinking dressed up as religion. She pulled away slightly, wrapping her arms around herself. My mother is humoring me, giving us false hope so I'll cooperate with the wedding plans. Or maybe she believes it. Maybe she's giving us a chance. Seraphine looked at me with such longing it hurt. Do you believe in it? In prophecies and spiritual connections and souls meant to be together? I thought about the first time I'd seen her, when she'd wandered into the maintenance bay looking for a quiet place to think. How we'd started talking and couldn't stop. How every moment with her felt right in a way nothing else in my life ever had. I believe in us, I said simply. Whether that's prophecy or coincidence or just luck, I don't care. I believe we're meant to be together. She kissed me then, fierce and desperate, her skin glowing bright lavender. When we finally broke apart, I could swear I saw shimmer in the air between us, like heat waves or starlight condensed into something visible. But that was probably just wishful thinking. The journey starts tomorrow, Seraphine whispered. 10 days through 3 systems, with assassins hunting me and the entire court watching our every move. Then we'd better make them count. She took my hand and her skin pulsed with warm light where we touched. If the resonance is real, if there's any chance the prophecy could save us, we need to believe in it, both of us, completely. I already do. Then stay close to me, Declan Chen. Don't let me go no matter what happens. Never, I promised. Outside the windows, the stars wheeled in their ancient patterns, indifferent to human dreams or alien prophecies. Somewhere in those systems, assassins planned and schemed. The High Prince of Draken IV waited for his bride. The Empress watched and calculated. But in that moment, holding the woman I loved, feeling the warmth of her skin and the steady rhythm of her dual heartbeats, I allowed myself to believe in impossible things. In prophecies that transcended politics, in love that defied logic, in maintenance mechanics who might somehow be worthy of princesses. The next 10 days would test us in ways I couldn't imagine. We'd face assassins and nobles, politics and prophecy, danger and court intrigue. But we'd face it together. And maybe, just maybe, that would be enough. Seraphine's hand tightened in mine, and the shimmer around us grew brighter, too bright to be imagination, too real to be dismissed. The resonance, ancient and undeniable, beginning to wake. The Empress had given me a mission: protect her daughter, prove myself worthy, survive the trials ahead. But she'd also given me something more dangerous than any mission. She'd given me hope. And in 10 days, before all the watching galaxy, we'd discover if love could rewrite prophecy, or if prophecy had been written in our stars all along.